Well, hello everybody, and welcome to the monthly question and answer webinar. It's just a few minutes past 7 now, so I think we better get started. I know quite a few of you have been online for a while now, so I want to push on and address your questions. There's about 76, 77 of you on this call, so thank you all very much for joining us. For those of you who've not logged onto this webinar before, if I just explain the format for tonight's webinar. Firstly, we've collated all of the questions you've submitted in the last 4 weeks. And we've collated those and put them into 10 or 12 different questions, which we'll have a look at first. Now, I haven't had a look at any of those questions in advance, so I'll be seeing them for the first time as you are, and I'll answer those one by one. And then, if you look in the chat bar, which is the bottom right-hand corner, for those of you on the live webinar, you'll see that you can ask a question by typing something into that box and clicking submit. I'll then come to all of those answers at the end. If you're listening to the recording of this webinar, then unfortunately, obviously, you can't ask any questions because you're not live with us, but you will get to see all the answers to the pre-recorded questions. So at any point, feel free to just type in a question into the bottom bar down there and click submit, and then at the end those questions will be collated for me and I'll have a look at those, and I promise you I'll answer every single question that you submit. Sometimes these webinars are very long, sometimes they're quite short because you've not got quite as many questions, but any questions you've got about the material we've covered, about growing your business, please submit them. And I promise you I'll answer them, and we'll get through them all together. So why don't we get started and have a look at the first pre-submitted question. Okay, this one says, you said that you could put a video on every page of your website. How do I do that? Okay, I guess there's two answers to this question. The first question is how do you do it strategically, and then how do you do it technically? Strategically, the way you put a video on every page of your website is simply to build a script for all of the content on your website. So if you've got the About Us page, for instance, which is probably the first page after your home page, then all of the writing you've got on that page, that forms your video. So it's really that simple. That's all you need to do. That's your script. Put together maybe some PowerPoint slides or do a video to camera. If you look at the video we sent a few weeks ago, that shows you just a bit of recording software and a microphone, and that's all you need to do your own videos. So review that video to see exactly how to do it. That's the technical side. But you just need that script, the About Us page, even the Contact Us page. Just read the message you've got there. Just put that into a presentation and just talk. Remember, as a business owner, just about all of you see clients face to face. I know there's one or two of members who sell online via the internet, so this isn't quite so applicable to you. But all of you out there, most of you, sell face to face to your customers. So you know exactly what to say. You're used to doing it. You do it nearly every single day. You'll see a customer or a potential customer, a prospect, and you'll talk about your services and what you do. So that's the same with your website. Just be natural, be human, and just talk and just do a presentation. That's all you need to do. It's no more difficult than that. The second half of your question is probably a technical question. How do you technically add it to your website? Now this depends. If you're using a web designer, just save it. Ask your web designer before you make the video what format do they want it in. Your web designer will probably tell you they want it in MP4 format, and that's just how you save it on the software. If you watch a video on how to produce videos, that will show you how to do that. So that's how you do it technically. If you're doing it yourself, you'll have what's known as a content management system. That's the little program that you log into to change the text on your website. And if you have a look on there, there'll be a button somewhere that will say add video or add media, and then you'll just upload your video. If you look on that website where you upload pictures, there'll be a button probably just next to it that says video. Obviously, every content management system is a little bit different. I've used, tens and tens of them over the years, and they're all pretty much the same, but there's small differences. But if you're struggling, then just speak to your website designer or somebody like that. But once you've produced a video, generally speaking, MP4 format at the moment, that seems to be the best format for lots of different reasons. Then just add it to your website, speak to your website designer. But if you can produce a video, then it's dead easy to get it on the internet. We've covered hosting and all of that sort of stuff in the video about doing videos. If you've lost that video, or you're not quite sure where it's gone, or you didn't receive it because you're a very, very new member, then just contact us after this and I'll send you a link to it. That goes for all members actually. Those links we send you to the videos, those will be up there forever. So at any point, if you want to revisit a video, then just do it. If you can't find the email we sent, just drop me a line, save it, you can't find it, and then one of the team will send you the link. So if you're ever looking for a video that we did 6 months ago, then we keep all of them and you can have access to them. So hopefully that answers your question. So right, next question. How do you produce videos for direct mail? Is it like, e.g., a USB stick? Okay, how you produce a video for direct mail is exactly the same as the video that goes on your website. It's probably the video you do on the homepage of your website, because that's a good introduction to what you do, unless you wanted to produce a niche video, which is a more advanced strategy. But in terms of, I think your question is saying, how do you do it, as in, do you put it on a USB stick, do you put it on a disc, do you do something like that? I would say, generally speaking, if you just get some discs, if you're doing over 100, then you can get companies to do this for you. But if you're doing direct mail less than 100, just buy some discs from the local, PC World or Staples or whatever, and just copy them and just produce your own discs and just put them in an envelope, so they go with the mail. Never send a video on its own, unless you're doing a very advanced direct mail campaign and you really know what you're doing. But if you're just a beginner, then send one of the letters. Use the templates that we recommend for a letter or a postcard, and just include it in just a normal video in a see-through envelope. That's all you need to do. If you want to do a USB stick, you can get them branded. I did a campaign with USB sticks the other day, and we paid about £1 per USB stick. So that does add a lot to your direct mail. Direct mail on average costs 72p when you include design, prints, postage, and all of that sort of stuff. That's a very average figure, but 72p is a ballpark figure for most direct mail. Add a USB stick at £1, £1.25, £1.50, then of course you're doubling and tripling the cost of the direct mail. So you do need to watch the return on investment. This particular campaign I'm talking about, when we put a video on a USB stick, that was because it went to IT managers. So there was an intelligent link, IT managers USB stick. So if you are doing direct mail and you want to use a gift, whether it's got a video on it or not, then think about what you can do very intelligently. What links with your niche. So as I say, if it's something that's going to IT managers, then you might want to use a USB stick. If it's going to somebody else, then think, what does that niche do, and link in with that. Another technique you can use, and this works absolutely brilliantly, is you can just put a big link. A link. You write it www.mygreatvideo.com and use that in your direct mail. So you encourage people to go to your website. Now there's different strategies whether you use a lead page, your home page. We'll cover that in the future, and we've covered that previously. But you can send people just to a video. So you can say www.myvideo.com and then send people onto your website. So you get all the advantages of direct mail, which are considerable. We've covered direct mail before, we'll cover it again in the future. But you get all of the advantages of direct mail, but you also get people to go onto your website and take a look at your video as well. So you're getting a double bang for your buck there. So that's how you would do it. My advice to you would be, make sure you check your return on investment before you go and buy a USB stick, because it can double or triple the cost of direct mail, as I've said. So just watch that, but if you want to send it like that, you can. How you produce it onto your USB stick, you just save it in a normal format and copy and paste it. It's incredibly easy. Always think about your niche and say, could we do it in a clever way? If it's IT manager, USB stick makes sense, but if it's somebody else, could we do something a little different and a little more interesting? So, okay, let's have a look at the next question. Do you think a video is a good idea for a trade business? I am a plumber. I think, having spoke to the team, we've got quite a few questions like this from different trade businesses. So I don't think it's just plumbers. If I was to say for any business, and this is quite a bold statement, but for any type of business who wants a video on their website, I would say it would be a trade. I say that for a couple of reasons. The first reason is, very few trade businesses have a video on their website. So you'll actually beat your competition, and that's quite an important point. The second point is, trade is all about trust. When people Google plumber London, plumber Manchester, plumber Leeds, plumber Newcastle, plumber Edinburgh, they're looking for somebody they can trust. Because you're coming into their home, you're coming to their office, and you're doing a trusted job. So if you can actually have a video on your website where you look trustworthy, you look credible, maybe you've got video testimonials, that's very, very powerful. Videos work for every type of business, and my biggest advice to you would be, if you don't have a video now, put one on your website. But if you're a trade business, your competition aren't doing it, so you get what's known as a first mover advantage. You're the first person to do it, so you get most of the reward for doing it. And of course, you establish trust. And that's all I want from a plumber. I want you to be local, and I want you to be able to do the job, and I want to be able to trust that you can do the job. And a video will do that probably stronger than just about anything else. It probably does it stronger than a guarantee. Guarantees are very powerful, but a video will do wonders for the business. So if you are that plumber, definitely get a video on your website. I think that will be a very smart move for you. Okay, so let's have a look at question 4 or 5. You said to increase prices by 10%. Will I put off my existing customers? Okay. In the DVD that you'll be getting in the post next week, you get the monthly DVD from us, something in the post a bit more advanced than the weekly videos we do. I'm going to be looking at the issue of how to not be negotiated down on prices and how to actually increase your prices and how to do that ethically and successfully. There's a big difference between existing customers and new customers. Some of you out there, particularly some of the trade businesses, the retail businesses, the product businesses, will only ever have new customers. You don't have that many repeat customers. If you're a builder doing those loft conversions we talk about, you only have one loft conversion. People don't convert the lofts more than once. Whereas if you're a solicitor, people come back time and time again. So there's a different way of doing it. So if you're just a business that only has new inquiries, don't worry about this question. If you've got existing customers, I'd advise you to watch a video that we're going to be talking about how to do that, and that'll arrive in the post next week. It's a bit of a taster. Some of the things I'll be talking about are, first one is using sales barrier demolition. You can increase your prices by looking at all of the objections that people have, all of the reasons that people have not to buy from you. They're called sales barriers, and you demolish them by having a way for each one of them of showing them how that's not true. Some of them it might be a guarantee. Some of them it might be a risk reversal. Some of them it might be a testimonial to say somebody else thought that might be a problem and they'll turn it around. There's many different ways that you can do it, but if you demolish your sales barriers, you can increase pricing. Also, if you develop niche products, so if you actually have niche products, then you'll find that people will pay more because you've niched. Now, I talk about niching a lot, and I make no apology for that. I think all of you should be niching your business because you get more of a market share. If you're doing it just for a niche, you can charge more. You can also add guarantees. I've referred to that a few times. This is when you guarantee to deliver the service. They're covered in a lot more detail in the DVD you'll get. And there's also ways that you can negotiate on price. You can actually add 10% into a price because you're expecting somebody to decrease you by 10%. So you artificially add 10% knowing they're going to knock you down on price. All of those tactics and a lot more will be covered in the DVD you get in the post. So I would look out for that one if I were you. When you say upsell and cross-sell, what does that mean? I've heard a lot, but I don't know how to apply it. Okay, I don't know what your industry is. When you submit your questions, if you want to let me know what your industry is, then I can give you a bit more of a specific answer. Also, by the way, you can submit your questions, as you can see here, and they're anonymous. So you don't need to, obviously you'll give us your name because it'll say from such and such, but we won't use them in these videos unless you ask us to. So I don't know your industry, so I'm going to give you a generic example. I'm giving you an example of McDonald's because we can all kind of associate with McDonald's. An upsell is when you sell something that is larger. It's a greater quantity, and a cross-sell is a complementary additional product. So an upsell at McDonald's is when you say, "Can I have a cheeseburger meal or a Big Mac meal or whatever it's called?" When you order that, and they say, "Would you like to go large on that?" That's an upsell. They want you not to just buy a small carton of French fries and a drink. They want you to buy the large ones. So that's an upsell, a greater quantity. A cross-sell is when they say you've ordered your meal and you've agreed that you want it to go large, and then they say, "Would you like an ice cream with that, or would you like some donuts? We've got buy one get one free donuts, or would you like some onion rings? We've got McDonald's are very good at sort of 99p upsells, so they'll say order your meal, which might be about £3.50. Then they'll say, "Would you like to go large for an extra 50p or so?" So they've increased you to £4, but the cost to them to give you a bigger French fries and a bigger drink is a couple of pence. but they've taken an extra 50 pence off you, or 30 pence, whatever it happens to be. So that's a massive increase in their margins. And then they'll say, would you like to buy some onion rings or some cheese dippers, or something like that, a dessert item for about 99p, which is usually about right. A cross-sell item, if it's at the point of sale, should generally be about 25% of the order value. So you order a value meal, they upsell you to a large value meal, and that's £4, and then they try and get an extra 99p for some onion rings or some cheese dippers or chicken nuggets or something, which is an extra pound that cost them a few pence again to produce. So they've taken you from a £3.50 meal to a £5 spend, and that's what upsell and cross-sell's all about. Having said that, don't worry about it. If you want to sell something, say you're a business and you've decided that you can, you have one product, but you've introduced a bronze, silver, and gold product, so you've increased your product range, or you've got some additional products that you want to sell. Then don't worry if it's an upsell or a cross-sell. I don't really care whether if something's a cross-sell and you call it an upsell or whatever. Who cares? You just want to make some money from it. So if you've got a good idea about additional products, and all of you should be expanding your product range, both in terms of size and the width of it as well, then just do it. Don't worry about the technical terms. It doesn't matter. If you want to send me a specific example of what you're thinking about, then I'll tell you whether it's an upsell or a cross-sell. But the dictionary definition is a bit of an irrelevance. What you really need to do is just do it in your business. And I think all of you should be doing it. There's another point here as well. Is I've used the example of McDonald's, which is the point of purchase. So at the point of purchase, I do the upsell and the cross-sell. There's also an upsell and a cross-sell after purchase. So I might buy a new laptop, and then in 6 months' time, they might try and sell me an additional item for the laptop, some new software that's been updated or something like that. They might try and say buy some virus software or something like this. So you don't always have to do it at the point of sale. You can have a complementary product, something that your customers are interested in, and sell it them 6 months down the line. The classic example of this, and it's a very cliched example, but it works, is a bookshop. You buy a book, that's the primary item, but then they try and sell you a bookmark. Now, a bookmark is a cross-sell. So they might say, you've bought a book, and I know if you buy books, you need a bookmark for them. I know it's a cliched example, but we use it because it's quite a clever little example that can show you how we know our customers want a book. What else can we sell them? Well, they definitely need a bookmark. It's quite a sensible way of doing it. So all of you out there should be looking at your business and saying, if I offer packages at the minute, how can I offer a larger package? So how can I upsell people? And how can I offer a cross-sell? So if I run training, how can I then offer them a DVD recording of a training or a workbook? If I'm a plumber, how can I offer them a larger boiler, or how can I offer them a service package? If I offer them a product, how can I sell them the product with the gold version, the advanced version? If you're buying Sage software, they'll say, do you want Sage software? Yes, please. Then they'll say, do you want the deluxe version? It's just £100 more. And then they'll say, do you want support for another £20 a month, and you can ring us at any time? Big businesses do this because it works, and all of you out there should be looking at your business. How can I increase the value of the spend and the frequency of the spend? So hopefully that answered that question. Right. Next question. What's the best way to stop people talking you down on price? Okay, we've already talked about that, and I gave you some tips like the sales barrier demolition, the guarantee, what I call the false dawn of adding 10% and renegotiating, finding your niche, all of that sort of stuff. So I've kind of covered this question, but next week in the post you'll get the DVD. The monthly DVD is going to be all about this topic. So I don't want to sidestep your question, but there's a really good DVD coming, so look at that. So I'll leave you to watch that video because I think you'll get a great value. If after that video I've not answered your question, by all means come back to me, but I think you'll find the video is very really good answer to that question. Okay, I've done the 80-20 in the videos. Okay, so I assume you're probably a very new member and you've got the 5-part introduction. So you've done an 80-20, brilliant. And out of 74 clients, 24 are good and profitable. What should I do about the other 50 or so? Okay, so I don't know what industry you're in, but you've got 74 clients and 24 of them are profitable, so that's roughly an 80-20, and the 50% are not. What should I do about them? Okay, brilliant question. There's lots of things you can do about it. The first one is, and this is kind of the most obvious and the terminal one, is to just get rid of them. write them a letter and say, we don't want to work with you, or we're going to increase our prices. But that's a terminal option, and I don't think you should be looking at that option just yet. Instead, I think you should be looking at some other things you can do. The first one is you can start to develop, and this relates to a couple of questions ago, some upsell and some cross-sell. Sometimes I find businesses, this happens when I start working one-to-one with businesses very often, and we'll find that there's a good percentage of profitable customers, but the unprofitable customers are generally unprofitable because we haven't actually managed to sell them additional products. So I would look at what can we do to upsell them so they buy a larger package, or what can we do to cross-sell them so they're buying an additional product. So it might be that somebody's bought a website from you, and actually you didn't make very much money on the website because they were a tricky customer and they negotiated you down on price, and they wanted mission creep where they want more than they've paid for, all of that sort of stuff. But you decide you're going to sell them an SEO package, or you're going to sell them hosting or something like this, and you actually sell that at a higher value. So it might be, and I've done this a lot with a lot of different clients actually, their original purchase isn't profitable, but you up and cross-sell them so they become profitable. That works very well. The next one is, sometimes people are unprofitable because of that thing I just mentioned, mission creep. You agree that you're going to give them 1 hour support a month, and they take 4 hours support. Well, there's a couple of ways you can deal with that. The first one is you can just politely explain to them your fair usage policy, and that they're actually exceeding what they're entitled to. There's nothing wrong with doing that. They've signed a contract. They've agreed to what you're going to provide. You were honest about your pricing, and they're over using your services. So you can politely explain that and say, either stop using us as much, or because I want to help you and because I like you as a customer, you can buy our gold support, not our bronze support, and you actually upsell them. So you can do that as well. So that works quite well. You can adjust your profit margins. Sometimes with unprofitable customers, you just need to stop providing such quality to them, or look at your costs, or increase your pricing as well. So there's quite a few different things you can do with unprofitable clients. Like I say, upselling, cross-selling, repositioning them. You can use all of those things I've just mentioned. You can also, if you want to, package them up and sell them. I've done this numerous times with people, with clients. They've got a body of people who are their customers who they no longer want. Maybe they wanted them a few years ago, but they don't anymore. To give you an example, I was speaking to a cleaning company not long ago, and they had a load of domestic clients, and they'd moved on to commercial cleaning, which was brilliant, but they had about 100 domestic clients, and they didn't know what to do with them. We packaged them up and we sold them to another company that does residential cleaning. What is garbage to you is not garbage to somebody else, and we managed to sell them at a high profit. Why? Because this company was into domestic cleaning, so they bought them off them. So what's not very good to you could be very good to somebody else. So before you actually just write them a letter saying I don't want to work with you anymore, which is a terminal decision, try some of those different strategies, and be open-minded. You can very often upsell people, very often cross-sell. You can very often do your margins. You can very often renegotiate their contract terms. You can very often explain to people that they're using more than they're entitled to and you'd like to give them a better support package, or you can indeed package them up and sell them. If you don't know how to do any of those, then ask me a bit more about it. If you're serious about selling on your clients, I can help you find a broker and a buyer and that sort of stuff, or you can speak to other people who can help you. But yes, identify your unprofitable clients. Focus more on your business, on finding more people like that 20%, but the 80%, there's a lot you can do with them before you kind of metaphorically show them the door. Okay, this one says, I put Google Analytics on my website as you suggested, but I A, don't have much traffic, or B, have traffic but no conversion. Right, okay, so we've obviously grouped two questions in one question here. So the first person's not got very much traffic to their website, and the second person's got traffic but no conversion. That's a brilliant question, actually, because there's two challenges with your website. The first one is people have got to find it. You've got to have people on your website. Challenge number one. Metaphorically, that's like getting people into your store. You've got to get people into the store. Secondly, you've got to get them to convert. You've got to get them to buy. So if we were a shop, we need people to walk in from the street, and then we want them to bring something to the checkout and make a purchase. The same with your website. Get them onto your website and get them converted. So I'll tackle the first one, how to get more traffic. There's loads of different techniques, but my advice to you for now would be, first of all, give them a reason to go onto your website. You will speak to so many people every single day. You'll have a business card, you'll have business stationery, you'll have emails with the signature, and all of those you've probably got www.mybusiness.com. If you give people a reason to go onto your website, and it can be as simple as we've uploaded a new video, it can be as simple as we've got a new website, it can be as simple as we've got a free report on the website, we've got some new information on the website, enter a competition on the website, that works absolutely brilliantly. You could have a competition for just a bottle of champagne or something. It's going to cost you £50, and you'd be surprised how many people go onto your website just to download, just to enter a competition to win something cheap like that. So there's lots of ways you can use your existing stuff, your business card, your stationery, your letterhead, your emails, when you're talking to people, in your newsletters, all of your marketing stuff, all of that. You can not just say www.mybusiness.com, but visit our website, because we've got a great new video on the 10 best ways for you to, if you're an IT company, to keep your computer safe, or to get the most performance, or how to protect yourself from computer failure. Something like that. Give someone a reason to get onto your website, and add it to all of your promotion and all of your material. You'll be surprised how much that will increase your traffic. Then, of course, there's other traffic sources. A really obvious one, but I'm still going to mention it, is to use social media. I know it's totally obvious that you should be doing stuff like, you can use YouTube videos to drive people to your website. Twitter's very popular, Facebook, all of that sort of stuff. I know it's obvious, but a lot of people don't do it well enough. Put a video on your website and give people a reason to visit. Put a blog on your website and say, I've got a new blog post, something like that. A new promotion, a special promotion, a seasonal offer. We talk about that a lot. So March's seasonal offer, whatever that happens to be. Tweet about it, talk about it, post about it, blog about it. Do all of that to get traffic onto your website. Then, of course, there's the paid traffic sources. There is the pay-per-click will work very well. Google AdWords, we've covered that before. We'll cover it again in the future. That will work very well, actually saying, okay, if you are that IT company I just mentioned and people are Googling for IT backup, obviously you can buy that search phrase and get people onto your website. Or Facebook advertising. I've mentioned this lots of times before. We'll definitely cover it in the next couple of months again. But Facebook advertising is very powerful, and it's very, very, very cost effective. So there's some obvious ways you can start to get more people onto your website, so you've got more traffic. Once they're on your website, what do you do about it? That is actually the million-dollar question. I see so many websites with literally hundreds of people visiting it every single month and 1 or 2 inquiries. And I look at the website and I make some very simple observations. Number one, you didn't actually ask them to call you, because your phone number or your email address was absolutely tiny at the bottom or only on the Contact Us page. So number one change to your website, on the top bar where you've got your graphical bar, the top bit on your website, put your phone number. You can make it an 0800 number if you want to, if you're in a competitive industry, particularly if you're a trade or something like that. If you're a service sector business, less important. But if you're a trade, 0800 number, tell people when lines are open. If you're 24/7, tell them you're 24/7. So put an 0800 number or your telephone number on your website and your email address. Add a Contact Us button or Call Us Now button, so that doesn't just have your phone number, but it actually has data capture. So it says you can phone us, here's our address, here's our email address, or why not fill in the box below. Classic simple stuff, but people don't do it. Also have data capture on your website. I mention this until I go blue in the face, and I know you're probably a bit annoyed with me going data capture, data capture, data capture. It's absolutely crucial. You will increase your conversion massively. I've taken websites from 1 to 3% conversion to 15 to 20% conversion by having data capture. You then add a video and you might go even higher. So make sure you've got a video on there. Make sure you've got data capture. If you ask people to contact you for a free, no obligation meeting, have a video talking about it, and then have a box. I've shown you this before. Whoever submitted this question, if you've not seen my examples before, contact me and I'll send you a load of links to websites I've built like this. But have a data capture box so you can contact. So if it says free no obligation meeting, then ask people their name, their phone number, their email address, and just click submit. If you ask somebody to contact you, they have to do something. And people are indolent. People are lazy. That's their human nature. I'm not picking on society. I'm just telling you human nature is to be lazy. So what you need to do is make it easy for them. Data capture, put your name in a box, dead easy. Or I'll look at your website at 10:30 at night. and you're somebody I want to get in touch with, an IT company offering that backup, I go, damn, I really need to back up my computer. Maybe I saw you tweeting about it at 11:30 at night, so I went onto your website. I know you're not open. I definitely need to get back up. And then you're not open. I can't contact you easily, so I disappear and I forget about it. I don't come back to your website. I forget about it. So you've lost a sale. Data capture, dead easy. Click submit. It's on your website. Some things you can do that's very important as well is to use headlines. Headlines are so important in all of marketing. And if you do a sales letter, a postcard, an advert, something like that, you would spend most of your time on headlines. You know that video we did about was it 8 or 9 weeks ago? I forget now, when we showed you how to do different headlines. And remember I said that headlines are 80% of the challenge, so spend 80% of your time doing your headlines. Well, that advice is just as important for your website. Very few websites have headlines. You need headlines on your website. So add your phone number, add a contact us box, add data capture, add a video, add headlines, and talk about your benefits. Talk about your USP. Talk about what you're doing. Add offers onto your website. Do all of the stuff you would do in normal marketing. A lot of people are great at or average or better at normal marketing, and then when it comes to the website, it all goes completely wrong. Don't fall into that category. Make sure you do all of the classic techniques, and if you do all of that, I guarantee your conversion on your website will increase. If you haven't got Google Analytics, put them on your website. If you don't know how to do it, I've got a video on how to do it, but you can just do it now, or preferably keep listening and after this recording. Just after this webinar, close down the screen, go to Google, type in Google Analytics, click sign up. It will take you 10 seconds. Well, not 10 seconds. It'll take you 1 minute. Fill in your details, and then there's a code for your website. Copy and paste that code. If you know how to add it to your website, do it. Mostly you probably have to ask your web designer. They won't charge you for it. Negotiate. Don't let them charge you. It takes them literally 10 seconds. They just open up your website and they copy a bit of code onto your homepage. It takes absolutely no time. Google Analytics is absolutely wonderful. I'm sure we'll cover it again in the future. If you're not sure about it, ask me. I'll send you some articles and a bit more about Google Analytics. But basically, Analytics tells you everything that's going on your website. And I've sat down with business owners reasonably frequently, reasonably often, and I've looked at their website and they've said, nobody comes on it. And I say, what makes you say that? And they say, we make no inquiries or sales on our website. And I say, 500 people visited your website last month. And they say, but only 6 people got in touch with us. That can't possibly be right. And it's because we've not done all that conversion stuff. Analytics are your diagnostic tool. They diagnose your website and they tell you what's going wrong. So absolutely get analytics and get measuring your website. Okay, this says, regarding putting up your prices, do you do this with current or new customers? Okay, I've probably covered this in the earlier question when we said about the 10% price increase. And in the DVD in the post, we're going to look at that anyway. But as a short answer, yes. But if you want to, pick your low-hanging fruit, and as of tomorrow morning, add 10 or 20% to your pricing at least for your new customers, all new sales, and see how that goes. Experiment with new customers than existing customers, because there's a lot of reasons. You want to look after your customers. They have a goodwill in your business. New customers are just a potential. So add 10%. Remember what I've said before. Of all the businesses I've worked with in the last couple of years, which is a significantly, a large number of businesses across just about every sector you can imagine, their pricing has always been able to go up, not down. You're more price sensitive than your customers. And follow the advice that's going to be in the DVD that will arrive in the post next week, that'll tell you more about putting up prices. In the Business Growth Club at the minute, we're covering more on prices. You'll have a video last week about prices. You'll be getting the DVD in the post, and we've got a few more videos planned in the next couple of weeks, because pricing is absolutely crucial. But yes, start with your low-hanging fruit, start with your new customers, and then graduate to your existing customers if you want to. As a new business, what do you think is the quickest way to get some clients? Okay, you've said clients, so I assume you're a service sector business, not a trade or retail or product. But some quick ways, okay, there's zillions of different ways. There's literally hundreds of different ways you can get clients. But the best ones I would say are, number one, pick a niche. Do not go out there with leaflets or whatever and distribute them to all the businesses or all the people in town, or put an advert in the newspaper without thinking about it. Ask yourself, Who is most likely to be my niche? Who wants to buy my stuff? Who can afford to buy it? Who will benefit most? And who am I most comfortable talking to? I often speak to businesses who say, I'm not comfortable talking to solicitors and people like that, but I'm quite good with manufacturing. But then they do general advertising. And I say, well, if you don't like solicitors, I'm sorry, I know we've got some solicitor members. I'm sure you're very nice people. But if you don't like selling to solicitors because you don't feel comfortable, but you like manufacturing, just advertise to manufacturing. Don't, I know it sounds really obvious, but a lot of you will be having sort of aha moment now and saying, well, why am I sending my promotions to people that I don't want to do business with? Pick the people who most want your product, most want your services, who most can afford it, the people with the biggest budgets to spend on that type of stuff, who you feel comfortable talking to. It might be that you feel comfortable talking to solicitors but not manufacturing, so just talk to them, not the other people. It might be you're good with people with big houses or small houses. Say you're a tradesperson and you like dealing with smaller houses just because you can be in and out and you get a job done and you get on with the people, whereas bigger houses you find are a big of a pest and they tie you up for longer, or vice versa. I don't know what it's going to be. Every business is different. But whoever you want to do business with, pick that niche and just contact that niche. You'll find you'll get a massively bigger return on your investment for your initial marketing. Then, once you've found your niche, go and hang out where they hang out. So if it is solicitors, then make sure you promote to solicitors, but then go to the events that solicitors go to. Solicitors go to networking events like the Chamber of Commerce and all of that sort of stuff. So go there. Solicitors read the Lawyer magazine, so advertise in it. Solicitors go to conferences at the local hotel where they put on conferences for solicitors in the local area on new areas of law or whatever. Go and exhibit there. Wherever your niche is, don't just promote your niche. Go and find them. Actively hunt them out. If you know your niche reads a particular part of the newspaper, then advertise in that part of the newspaper. If it is solicitors and you know that they read the business section, advertise in the business section. If you want to do with people who are from the smart part of town, and you know the people at the smart part of town go to a certain restaurant, well, do a joint venture with that restaurant. If you know they go, if you've got, say, it is solicitors and you think solicitors like watching the local rugby club, then promote there. Go where your niche goes. You'll get a much better return on your investment, as I've said. The next one is use the 5 multipliers the 5 ways to grow a business are to get more inquiries, to increase your conversion, to have a higher value of spend, frequency of spend, and adjust your margins. So as a new business, if you can just do a little bit on those 5 multipliers, you'll have a massive effect across your business. So new inquiries, do niche advertising, do all of the stuff that you've just mentioned, and you'll get more inquiries. With your sales system, just do simple stuff to convert more people. What I mean by sales conversion is if you see 10 potential customers and you can convert 5 of them as a new customer, that's a 50% conversion rate. Now, you can increase your conversion rates by a couple of tactics, very quick tactics. The first one is add a guarantee. This is covered in the DVD you get in the post next week, but add a guarantee. Do sales barrier demolition. Before you meet with the person, send them some promotional materials and a video. So before you've even met them, you've adjusted them to know what you're all about. That's a massively important first step, because if you can convince them that you're the right sort of person to do business with, before you've even met them, and it doesn't matter if you're a trade, if you're a service sector business, whatever you do, if you can start to pre-sell, as it's called mind theming, pre-sell mind theming, you can get people in the right mind frame before you even arrive. So do that. Then when you're there, offer guarantees, do the sales barrier demolition I mentioned earlier, so all the reasons they don't buy, combat those. Use social proof, use guarantees, and you'll convert more people into customers. Then when they become customers, send them a letter straight away. It's called a buyer's remorse letter, thanking them for the order and specifying what you're going to do, confirm the quote, and say when you're going to start. There is a number of people, it's usually about 15%, who will order, say yes, and then not come on board. Buyer's remorse, as it's called. We call it buyer's remorse because when people buy, they have remorse. They regret their purchase. If you do a buyer's remorse letter, then you'll overcome that. You'll sometimes get a maybe. Oh, I don't know, I'll get back to you. In that case, what you need to do is send them a letter again, straight away, selling the reasons why they should do business with you, and then make sure you follow up. Most businesses don't follow up enough. Make sure you call them until they say no. very important. Do it politely, do it professionally, do it courteously, do it subtly, but definitely do it. So if you do all of that and you put it all together, you'll get greater conversion rates. Then you want to have higher value of spend and frequency of spend. That's having an upsell and a cross-sell. So if you're just selling one product at the minute, which is 100 matchsticks, have a product which is 200 matchsticks, or something that will give them 25 matchsticks on a monthly basis, so you sell more over the course of the year. To have an upsell, also have a cross-sell. If you're that bookshop and people buy books, well, sell them bookmarks, sell them other stuff that is going to work. So have an upsell and a cross-sell, so that will increase the value of spend. They're spending more every time that they spend with you, and then frequency, they're spending more often. The fifth one is profit margins. That means you can increase your prices so you make more money, so you can look at doing that. And also you can reduce your cost, and just a 10% reduction in cost can have a big impact. So if you put up your prices by 10%, and then you save 10% on costs by renegotiating, using better suppliers, being more efficient, all of that sort of stuff, then you'll actually have a much better profit margin. So if you follow all of that and put it all together, you'll have more inquiries. Of those more inquiries, you'll convert more of them into sales. You'll get them spending more often, at better margins. Add all that together, that's a pretty potent recipe. It's a pretty potent mixture. So if you're a new business, that's what I'd be saying to you. So, and I think every new business that's listening to this, and I know a lot of members are new business or newish businesses, I think that should be really good advice for you. Hopefully you're seeing from this webinar, especially if you're the first time onto the webinar, that you can learn a lot from the videos we send, but you learn so much from other people's problems, because so many of you will be saying, that's like my problem, or even if it's not like your problem, I may have given you an idea that converts. So I hope this webinar's been useful. So far, we've only got a few more new people have joined. We're up to 79 now, so no one's disappeared. So hopefully, I'm doing a good job. But if you want to send me some feedback after this webinar, you're always welcome. It's always good. Sometimes when I'm doing this job, it's quite lonely. I'll give you a load of videos and I'll give you webinars, and it's nice to hear from you just to tell me what I'm doing right or wrong. But hopefully, you're learning a lot from other people's questions, and if you're a new business, that's my best possible advice for you. Okay, this one says the bank turned down my loan application as they said it wasn't realistic in the recession. Can you have a look at it? First of all, I can have a look at it. Anne will have, when you sent these questions, one of my colleagues screens all of these and gives them to me in different order. So I presume that Anne will have picked up that particular application, and I'll be happy to have a look at that for you. I'm more than happy to help you. So if you haven't sent it to me, you probably have. That's logistics. But I would make a comment about this. I'm going to get myself into trouble here. But what does a bank manager know about business? I mean, interestingly, we've just gone through a massive banking crisis, so the banks have proved they don't know very much. But I really don't like these bank managers. A lot in the job I do, I spend talking to bank managers. They very, very, very rarely understand finance. They very rarely understand business. They almost never understand marketing. Who is the bank manager to tell you what's realistic in a recession? Just don't listen to them. There's so many people out there that will tell you you can't do it. People told me I could. People told me I can't. I shouldn't start a business because I was too young. And then I did it, I'm not being arrogant, but, quite successfully. And then they said, oh, well, it won't last, and it lasts. And then I had this idea for this business growth club. Oh, you won't get enough members. Then we got enough members, and people say, oh, they won't stay long enough. And then you just get more members. And, if you go to networking events, you'll find these people sat in the corner, giving you all of this. That won't work. This won't work. The other won't work. Rubbish. There are so many successful people out there. In 2011, last year, I worked with so many clients, and we really accelerated their profits. So many Business Growth Club members had huge increases in profits just applying the advice that we're giving you. If you're a member of this Business Growth Club, you'll be getting information from us every single week, and you can apply that in your business. And you're getting an amazing business education, an amazing number of ideas and practical tutorials on how to implement it. If you do all of that, who cares if it's a recession? I mean, I hate this word recession. if you, not many of you are probably economists out there, and why the heck should you be? But if you are an economist, you'll know a recession is a nebulous term. It means nothing. No real economist use a recession. It's something which somebody just made up. They made this up because it sounded a good phrase. It was for political purposes. And it means 2 quarters of negative growth. Now, do you even know what 2 quarters of negative growth means? Negative growth is measured on gross domestic product. Do you know what gross domestic product is? Do you know if it's important? It's a load of utter rubbish. There's a lot of economists that don't agree that that's the best definition of a recession as well. It's rubbish. It means nothing. Recession is a nebulous phrase. If you are a small business, and most Business Growth Club members, you're quite modest-sized businesses. We've got people from people who've just started to up to 10 or 20 million turnover. You know, they're relatively small businesses. There's so much more you can be getting out there. People are spending trillions, literally trillions of pounds on stuff. And if you're a small business, you can always win more business off your competitors. So don't believe all of this realistic in a recession. I hope this doesn't sound negative. I'm going to turn this into a more positive slant now, but I really detest these people who tell you can't do it. Until Duncan Bannatyne tells you you've got a rubbish idea, listen, he knows what he's talking about. But until then, don't believe these people like bank managers and negative people at networking events who tell you can't do it. Of course you can do it. I'm more than happy to look at that loan application. I'm more than happy to give you some advice on your business plan. But really, my biggest message to anybody out there listening to this is you can do it. You absolutely can do it. There is no reason. Forget this garbage about recessions. So many people are prospering out of this recession. If you've got a good USP, and you do niche marketing, and you do all of the advice we've given you, and you run offers, and you've got a compelling positioning, and you've got a good website, and you do good marketing, and you're good at sales conversion, all the stuff we tell you how to do, you will prosper. I absolutely guarantee it. If you don't, you can have your money back from the Business Growth Club. If you apply these ideas, they will work. Don't believe it. Realistic in a recession, it means nothing. You can absolutely do it. All of you listening to this are in a special band of business owners who've decided to do something different in your business. And we'll give you so many ideas. And if you just apply one idea from every video, it will really work in your business. And if you're stuck on anything, you can ask me these questions and I'll help you. But you really can do it. Don't believe this rubbish. Times might be harder for certain industries, but you just need to be more creative. If you are a business that's been hit by a recession, send me questions about the problems you've had. I know if you're in construction or something like this, you'll have been hit more from a recession than somebody else. Send me questions, and I've more than often, or more than likely, I've tackled those problems before, and I'll give you some good solutions to them. But you just need to adapt and survive. Business is all about evolution. But don't believe people like bank managers who tell you can't do it. You absolutely can do it. Only take advice from people who've done it. That's a good piece of advice from me, actually. Only ever take advice from people who've done it. You know, people who tell you can't do it. Are they expert marketers? Have they got a big business? You know, do they live in a big house? Do they drive a big car? Or are they just a negative person who'll tell you it can't happen? It absolutely can happen. Any problems, ask me. Watch these videos. You know, have a positive mindset to your business. You can do it. Don't believe this stuff you read in the newspaper. It's designed to depress you. There's a statistical truth that you sell more newspapers by being negative than positive. So the newspapers are negative. But actually, if you understand economics and you look deeply into it, then this recession is not actually a particular problem, and it presents serious opportunities. So don't believe this garbage, you can't do it. You can do it. You absolutely can. And I've got proof of so many clients who have done it. So happy to look at that application. Okay. How do you actually go about meeting more profitable and good clients? Okay, brilliant question. So basically, I think you're probably asking me, how do you cream off the better people? So you want to work with a better quality of business. And there's a couple of different answers I can give to you to that. The first one is positioning. You need to position yourself in the niche that's profitable. So if you're out there trying to sell to everybody, hey presto, you will get everybody. It's pretty obvious. You put out there mass marketing, you'll get a mass market. So you'll get good, bad, and indifferent people. If you just pick out your niche and you just get high quality people, you will just get high quality people. So position yourself as a high quality provider and actually do your niche marketing, you'll get higher quality people. Then, once you've got your niche, do what I said before. Go and find your niche. Make everything about a niche. You know, only talk to the people that you really want to talk to and go and hunt them out. And then use the 5 marketing messages we talk about so often. They're in the new member videos, and we talk about them a lot, about having USP, about having benefits, about having testimonials, about having offers, about having call to action, about positioning yourself in the right niche, and you'll find you'll attract more of a higher quality clients that you really want to be talking to. Okay, you often use the example of a business coach. I am a business coach. What do you think is the best marketing for me? I'm not sure if you're pulling my leg a little bit. The reason I use business coach as an example is because so many of you, I say business coach and loft conversion builder because I think everybody can relate to those types of businesses. And if you're a service sector business or a trade business, then you associate with them. But if you are a business coach, what would I advise? Okay, first of all, find your niche. Who are the people you really want to coach? Advertise to that niche. But for you, business coaches, you provide solutions. You provide ways to grow businesses. So I would say, give it away for free to begin with. Give it away for free as a free report, a free training video, a free seminar, a free consultation. If you're a business coach, give away a free coaching session. So say to people, if you're in my niche and if you qualify, I'll give you a free coaching session so you can see what I really do. You'll find if you're a business, any service sector business, but particularly coaching, something like that, if you give people a taster, a try before you buy, you'll find a much better conversion rate. So I would say a business coach is an expert in growing a business. So start talking to people about how you grow business. Videos, reports, free sessions, give speeches, do blogging, all of that sort of stuff. Establish your credibility in the marketplace, and you'll find you'll get a lot more of the higher quality people you want to be talking to. So, okay, next question. I have a big project to price, but I'm not sure how to. I don't want to go too high or too low as I haven't done it before. Okay, I don't know what industry you're in, but you're right, you do need to price for projects properly. However, if you've not done the job before and it's a big project, I would say just go and damn well win it. Go and win the project. If it's a big project, it'll give you something to do, it'll have cash in the bank, it'll give you credibility, it'll give you a testimonial, it'll give you a case study. If it's a big project, it's probably a brand name, so people have heard about it, so it'll aid you in all your marketing. Don't spend all day. I mean, you do need to do due diligence, and you do need to cost out the number of hours it's going to take you and the materials. Make sure you're not running at a loss. But if you haven't done it before, it's guesswork. So guess as well as you do, but don't worry. Just win the project. If it's a big project, it'll give you something to do, give you cash, it'll give you a testimony, it'll give you a case study, it'll give you credibility, it'll get you moving. I'm assuming you might be a new business, so it'll get you on the treadmill and it'll get you going there. So if you've done jobs like it before, you can model and you can copy and you can look at how to price. But if you've never done it before, it's guesswork. I can't give you a magic wand solution. But just win the work, win that big project. You'll feel brilliant if you do win it. You'll feel great about yourself. You'll deliver it and you'll have some good proof and a good case study. So just go out there and win it. I keep writing a sales letter, but it's too long. How long can I get away with? But I just disagree. Actually, you just can't have a too long sales letter. I've written sales letters which are 15 or 20 pages, and they still work. That's quite an extreme example, but I would say with a sales letter, every single sentence needs to add value. It needs to keep selling. And so long as it does that, you can include 1,000,000 pages, so long as they're all selling, so long as every sentence sells. We will be in about the middle of this year, May, June, July time. We'll be looking at copywriting and we'll revisit headlines and all of that sort of stuff. And we'll be looking a bit more and we'll give you some templates for sales letters and that sort of stuff, which you can kind of almost just copy and paste. You can just insert headline here, insert benefit here, insert this here. But for now, ask yourself, read every single sentence very critically in the eyes of your customer and ask yourself, is this good enough? Is this selling? Is this motivating? Is this doing either attention, interest, desire, or action? And if it is, keep it in there. Don't believe these people who say a sales letter's got to be 1 page. Obviously, if you've got no budget, you're going to have to do 1 page because you can't afford several pages. But if you can, then it adds value. No such thing as too long. Very regularly, the sales letters I write are between 2 and 4 pages. And there's absolutely nothing wrong with that. So, yeah, just is it adding value? If it is, keep it. If it isn't, get rid of it. How many pages should my website have? I'm a new business with a limited budget. Okay. Well, if you're a new business, actually, I will send you the DVD that we did in the middle of last year. because I'm assuming you must be a new member, otherwise I've already answered this question in that DVD. I actually showed you how you can get a website that looks highly professional, and I give you some real life examples of a highly professional website for £100. That's not a con. That's not me giving you a special offer to a web designer who's going to, kind of sell you a cheap website because they want to upsell you, whatever. It's using software that's out there, template software, to build brilliant websites. And I'll send you the DVD if you weren't a member, and I'm assuming you're not, which will show you how you can build a website that looks brilliant for £100. Well, it's less than £100. If there's enough of you on this webinar that weren't around or would like to look at that DVD again, let us know, and we'll do something. We'll make it available again or whatever. But yes, your website, you can actually have multiple pages. However, if you're using a web designer or whatever and you want to save budget, I would say, number one, you've got to have a homepage, most important page. Make sure you have a video, make sure you have the data capture. So number one, homepage. You must have an About Us page. You should also have a Why Us page. More important than About Us. Lots of people have About Us but don't have Why Us. That tells people all the reasons they should buy. You obviously need a testimonials page, absolutely crucial, and make them video testimonials if that's when you want to use them in the sales process, but definitely have written testimonials. Of course, you need a contact us. You probably want a case studies page, and then, so that's 4 or 5 pages, and then you need a page for every single service that you offer. So if you sell just boilers, then put a page on boilers. But if you sell boilers and boiler servicing, then have 2 pages, one for boilers, one for boiler servicing. So there's no limit to the way pages on a website, but on a limited budget, definitely have those pages. The number of pages isn't that important. The quality of the headline, the quality of the copy, the call to action, the data capture, and the video makes significantly more difference. You could just have a 2-page website, but so long as it has a good headline, good copy, good data capture, good video, and it's well targeted, then you're sorted. So that's my advice to you for that particular website. Okay, well that's all your pre-submitted questions. I know we've been on for a while, but we're up to, as I say, there's now 78 of you on the call, so that's brilliant. So if you're listening to the recording of this webinar, so you couldn't join us live, then because of technology, we can't bring you these pre-submitted these live questions, obviously. So your recording will end now. But if you're still on the call, you're on this live webinar, all 78 of you. Some of you will have submitted questions, but if not, you can keep submitting them by the submit bar. So let's go on to the first question.